just means that you're respectful to your coworkers. And, you know, it's not difficult to be respectful.
Well, better prudent than sorry.
Yeah. You know, to the supervisors, create an open door policy. If your employees want to come in and talk to you about these things, please let them talk about it. Give your employees an opportunity to object if they feel they're being sexually harassed. Maintain confidentiality to the extent possible. And please, to supervisors in the room who are here, take action on all complaints. Don't let someone tell you, I'm telling you, but I don't want you to do anything. Because that legally is a disaster for an employer. Because if the behavior continues, you're going to be automatically liable. Now, I want people to take a minute and, okay, also on the back, by the way, is your checklist. If any once in a while you think you're doing something, you want to look and say, well, could this be a potential problem? The last page is a little checklist. Just so you remember what the major areas are that you want to engage in. Now, I want people to take a minute and go over those two handouts, and then we're just going to talk quickly about them. I'm going to open the floor up to any additional questions, and then we can wrap up.
What's in the handout?
I got one handout. Okay, you got one? Why don't we do that one then? Maybe there weren't enough. Do the one that is the not the multiple choice, but the questions, the write-in. And you don't have to be, I mean, this is not a test or anything. I'm going to give the... Okay, I'm going to give this. This is the true and false. I'm sorry, I said multiple choice. This is true and false. I'm going to hand these out. I'm just going to go over a few of these, but this is just for informational purposes. You have one? Okay. I don't. Did you? You got one of these, but I don't think you did, right? Okay. Just do a couple of those. That's not that. Yeah. That's really for your personal to take with you. I just realized I should keep one for myself. No, I actually just realized I gave them. I just said the same thing. I gave them, and I don't have one for myself. I'm going to have you share with them. I'm sorry, because I actually gave them all of mine. I realized I don't have one. Sorry about that. Any other questions, by the way? If you have any questions, think of some.
Yes, you said somebody cannot file out. Usually, if they complain, they can complain twice because those are extreme cases mostly.
I'm sorry? No, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the...
Let's say you file a complaint against a sexual harassment complaint, and then you are a victim, but then you get a second job or some other place, and then somebody else harasses you. Can you do you have those cases, and can you really do anything about it?
What are you saying? Can someone file two different complaints from two different employers? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We, believe it or not, it's not often, because usually when someone encounters it once, trust me, they don't want to go through it the second time. But I actually have had a couple of complainants who have filed complaints at different employers, and actually one of them was a valid complaint. Actually, yeah, they both went to hearing. So it is, it's not held against you. I'm not going to lie and say at some point if you file a complaint for every place you work, we might not start to look at that and say, well, that's a little bit unusual. But, no, it's possible to go to different workplaces and have something engaged, especially because of the case I'm thinking about. It was a particular, I don't want to get into the facts too much, but it was one that you could see how it happened. It kind of made sense. So no, there's no bad, no one looks at you again. If you get into filing 4 or 5 complaints, yeah, at some point, we're going to look at that, but no, 2 probably is not going to be.
What happens when, indication if you're actually messing with a coworker and it's carried across outside the workplace, and then you come back in the workplace, but you and that significant other, you're not seeing each other no more, and you're not seeing each other no more, but you left the situation alone, but they're mad about it, so they want to take it to the next level and make it seem like it's more than what it really was.
This is a personal issue.
No, it does. It does. And I was just going to say, believe it or not, with all joking aside, let me answer his question. It actually does, and more actually than, let's say, the quid pro quo, the boss to subordinate, because, you know, nowadays the law has been so solidified that most supervisors know that if you go and you ask a subordinate for sexual favor in exchange, you got a big problem. You know, you're going to be helped. So believe it or not, that doesn't happen as much as it used to when I started. That was the big. But what you talk about does happen a lot. We do have a lot of people who date in the workplace, and then the fallout of that relationship occurs in the workplace. The issue is going to be, what's happening in the workplace, and that, you know, whoever feels that they're being harassed has a responsibility to tell their supervisor what's happening, remember, only in the workplace. Not about what was happening between you two outside. And then you can object to that and say, I want my supervisor to, you know, stop this person from bothering me. If the person's, let's say, calling at your desk and hanging up, yeah, I can't believe you don't want to date me anymore, click. I'm going to give some example of some of the things. Of course, you can object to that. If that continues, that would be sexual harassment in the workplace now. Because it wouldn't make any difference if you did it before or after. If a person's doing that to you in the workplace, it's sexual harassment.
Say a couple's behaving sexually and it's consensual. Can the voyeur,
Yes.
the person watching?
Yes, yes. That's what we were talking about earlier, the hostile environment. That's exactly what it is. Yes, if you, and we have tons of that. If you're, you know, engaging in inappropriate behavior, although it might be appropriate personally, inappropriate behavior for the workplace, you and someone, and it's welcome, and someone is hearing it or seeing it, yes, they can file a complaint saying that you two are creating a hostile environment. For them. Now again, this is not a single incident. We're not talking about a pet. You know, obviously, again, I started by saying we're not morality busters. The law is not a morality buster. The law is a set of words, and it's very clear. So we're not talking about a kiss or a hug. You know, I'm assuming you're talking about real behaviors in the workplace.
Yeah, well,
Right.
that just better never happen. I mean, that's crazy.
But people do. We've had some interesting things happen in the workplace. So I wish I could tell you no. His question's on point.
That's crazy.
No. We've had a lot of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've had people. Yeah. They just don't think about it in that way. They don't think about how it affects other people. So yeah, I mean, someone, remember that we're all in the workplace and we all have different sensibilities. You can have someone who's sitting right next to you who's very religious, and you get someone who's next to you who doesn't care about religion. You know, you can have someone next to you that's, you know, homophobic, someone next to you that doesn't care, someone next to you that doesn't want this. So the point is, these laws are to ensure that we can all have all these differences, but we can still work together. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what's made our workplace. I mean, look around this room. It's a perfect example. So the point is, you don't have to then broker and say, well, oh, I don't want you to do this because I'm religious, or I'm this religion, I'm that religion, or I have this belief structure or that belief structure. What the thing is to set these kind of basic kind of rules that cut across all those things and just say, treat your coworkers with civility. It's almost like a variation on a civility code or respect code than it is a morality code. So again, you know, you just got to be respectful. So if you're just kissing a coworker, you have a friend, a companion, a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever in the workplace, and you want to give a little pat, no one's gonna say anything about that under the law. But if you're like making out, getting graphic, and every day, and you know, then yeah, at some point it might make other people uncomfortable.
Okay, just a random scenario. Say, you know, somebody approaches you and they have like
Yes, that is sexual
a
harassment.
sexual innuendo to say to you, right? But you take it, it's not necessarily, you are offended by the comment. So instead of saying, you know, that's sexual harassment, I don't have to take it, you kind of come back with them with another sexual insult. Do they have the right to say that you sexually harassed them because they were insulted by what you said?
Not really, because that's a back and forth. So not really.
Okay.
No. And just remember, you are, at this point, these examples are examples of single incident, and those aren't the things that get you into problem. Those happen every day. Those happen in my workplace. Remember, you know, I tell you, I'm the direct secretary, but I'm still a human being. I mean, we do that. That's not what we're talking about. When you see a sexual harassment complaint, you know it's a sexual harassment complaint.
Here's a personal question. You find that people at your workplace joke around with you just because they know your position and they're just kind of like...
We joke all the time.
No, I mean more because of that. I mean, you know, like...
No, we don't tell sexual jokes and stuff, because obviously we have to be more cautious. We don't want, you know, we wouldn't, you know, I don't find the need to do that.
Right.
But, and our workplace is still fun. Trust me, we have enough stuff
Okay.
to keep us